All right, so this video is actually going to be pretty short. We're just going to focus on questions from section 10.1. The professor gave me a hint that that is the section that is the most important to know. So that is the questions I'm going to be looking at with you in this video. So the first question is 10.57. Females who are not in the union make an average of $1,120 a month versus in the union is $1,244. You can see the samples here. I want to double check that N. I want to say it was out of 2,000. Hold on. Sorry about that. I don't like that those are so different in sample size. It doesn't really matter, but I just want to make sure. Yeah, that should be 2,000. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. And then the population standard deviations are known. And so I want to find a 95% confidence interval for the difference in the means. So actually up here on the top, I'm going to write out this formula. So you do mean 1 minus mean 2. So that's the difference between the two means. Plus or minus, okay, the z for that critical value. And then we need to combine these standard deviations. So you'll do sigma 1 over n1, and it's sigma squared, actually, over n1. And then sigma 2 squared over n2. Okay, and then I'll also show you in the calculator how to do this, okay? All right, so following this formula, we would do 1120 minus 1244 plus or minus 1.96, 70 squared over 1,500 plus 90 squared over 2,000, and then I'm going to take the square root of that whole piece here. All right, let's find our standard error first, because that's kind of a bugger. All right, 70 squared divided by 1,500 plus 90 squared divided by 2,000 would give me the inside piece. Now I need to take the square root of that, and then I need to multiply by 1.96. So my error piece is 5.302, and then my expected difference, or my point estimate of the difference, is negative 121, plus or minus this value here. So I'm going to subtract it first, and then negative, and then add it. Okay, so this expected difference is between $129.30 and $118.70, which tells me, because I did non-union minus union, that union workers must make more money, or that non-union workers make less money. Okay, now let's do this based on a test here, based on this alpha level. So I'm only doing a left-sided test here. So let's look up that critical value in our chart. Negative 1.960. Okay. And this is what I'm testing here. So let's find the z. So we would do 1120 minus 1244 minus 0 all over the standard deviation here for the difference in the sample means, that sampling distribution. All right, so in the numerator, I'm going to have negative 124. I know that from above. In the denominator, I'm going to have that square root piece, and I don't think I have it I could do this. Okay, or you could retype it all out if you really wanted to. Okay, oh, that z-score is very, very small. Okay. So basically we have extreme significant evidence that if you don't work in the union, you're not making enough money. How you can also do this in your test is you can do a 2-sample z-test. Okay, standard deviation 1, standard deviation 2, x bar 1, n1, x bar 2, n2. Okay, we're doing a less than test and calculate. And then you can see how low that z is, and our p-value is essentially 0, okay? Because we're negative 45 standard deviations away from the mean, which is huge, okay? All right, the other question from this review that is from section 10.1 is on the self-review test number 3. So do company executives have higher stress levels than university professors? And it gives us this data. And so the first thing it wants us to do is find the confidence interval for the difference. So let's look at our equation right here. Okay, and let's do that. So we would have 7.6 minus 5.4 plus or minus, 99%. Let's look at that. 99% is 2.576. Square root of 0.8 squared over n1 plus 1.3 squared over n2. And then I'm going to use my calculator here to find this. All right, so 0.8 squared over 40 plus 1.3 squared over 50. Take the square root of that answer. And knowing that I'm going to need it in the next part, I'm going to write that. Okay, multiply here. Okay, and so I'm going to have 2.2 plus or minus 0.575. So my lower bound is 1.624. Oh, that's not right. And my upper bound is 2.775. Okay, and since I did executives minus professors and my entire interval is positive, I could say like, yes, on average, executives have stress levels in these points values here, okay, that is about 2 points higher than professors, and which means I'm also going to get significant evidence here. So the critical value for this greater than test oops. .96, and then our z is going to be 7.6 minus 5.4 minus 0 all over my standard deviation here. I know this is 2.2. I know this is 0.223. Okay. And again, I get a z-score that is ginormous. Okay, so about 10 standard deviations away. Yes, I have significant evidence that company executives have higher stress levels than university professors. And that's how you would do questions for 2-sample means if you know the population standard deviation.